Hi there, you guys. Hope you are well. So, if you have been following me for the last couple of months, you've probably heard that I'm doing something that I call my 6-month business leap. So this is 6 months that I've given myself to focus on growing my credit business. So before April, I was doing this YouTube channel, I was doing my credit coaching, everything else that I do in my business on 1 day a week plus weekends. And I wanted to take this business full time. I very much wanted to do that. But I could also see that I didn't have the mind space, the energy, the time to dedicate myself to the business when I was just doing it 1 day a week and on weekends. So I decided to give myself 6 months. I took leave from my day job for 6 months to work on the business and try to take it full time. So that's what I've been doing since April, and it's now the end of September, which means the 6 months are ending. So today I want to take you behind the scenes. I want to tell you what this leap has been like. If you've been reading blog posts, you know some of it already. I'm going to share a bit more, and I'm going to tell you what is next as well. So yeah, to do this, I thought I would take you outside for a little bike ride, sit outside somewhere nice and bring a cup of tea and my notebook and do some journaling, do some reflecting and share with you as well. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, I found me a nice little spot here by the lake, and I have my cup and my tea here. I'm gonna pour myself a cup of tea, and yeah, so it's been 6 months since I began my leap, and when I look back to what I expected when I started this, I think the biggest difference is that I was thinking of something quite linear. I was thinking that I would keep building my business and things would sort of follow a linear progression. I envisioned growing my business, growing trust in my coaching with those who already followed me, and that things would that it would show a sort of linear progression. And I think every one of us has seen these sort of project lines where we expect everything to be very sort of nice and flat and linear and just putter along until you're reaching your goals, while in reality it goes up and down and back and front before we make it over there. And that is very much the reality of what my 6 months leap looked like. So I began it in April, and April and May went really well. Are you ready, guys? I am taking the lead and going full time with my credit business. So those are the 4 parts that I want my vision boards to remind me of when I look at it. That those are the 4 parts that are really important to me, that are part of my vision for these 6 months ahead. So when I set out to grow my business for 6 months, I didn't think I would see results that quickly, just from pouring more time and energy and effort into the business. I think that the energy you put out is the energy that you get back. That's what I've been seeing these last 6 months. And the fact that my business wasn't going very well before my 6 month leap, like it wasn't go badly, but it was not having the momentum that I wanted. That's why I wanted to do my 6 month leap. And just simply shifting my energy and shifting how much I worked in the business, that in itself made a huge difference. And I find that very interesting, because I think that a lot of the time when we sort of do something a couple of days per month, maybe we do something when we have time for it in our spare time in the evenings, when we put in just a little bit of energy, because that's all we have, all the time we have, it's so easy to start doubting that work and how equipped we are to do that work and how well we can do that work, because we are just seeing the amount of energy and time we have to put into that like we do it now. But we can't see, okay, a lot of it not working like we want it to can just be simply that you don't have that energy and time and space to put into the work. I often see this when I work with coaching clients, that when we sort of embrace new habits, when we get into the work, we actually get into working on a project, making a little bit of progress, our mindset, our feelings about our projects shift quite drastically. So often people come to me when they're a little bit stuck with a project, or they haven't been working on it as much as they want to. And simply the act of getting into it and doing the work, that makes a huge difference for us, because then we can see that we can do the work, and we can see that we actually get into the project. We're just not just thinking about the project or dipping in a little bit here and there. We're actually in the project, and that helps us understand it. It helps us keep moving forward and having sort of the vision and momentum that we need to bring it to life. So that was the first thing that happened. Things went quite well. I realized that there were untapped potential in the business, and that is also something that, I think that's why I wanted to do the 6 month leap as well, to see what was there, to see what I could do with what I already had. So the next thing that happened was that things didn't go as well. And here again is where my sort of linear idea about how things would go was completely thrown out the window. So I did a summer campaign that was called the Summer Retreat, and it didn't completely flop, but it did not go as well as I wanted it to and expected it to do. So within my focus areas, there is one thing in particular that I would like to tell you about, and that is something I call the Summer Retreat. So I think also because things had been going pretty well in April and May, and the potential that was there, people who were thinking about doing coaching, that sort of, they had booked. And then I ran the summer campaign quite shortly after that. And I simply think that a combination of different things, like people don't necessarily, I am very fond of working on creative projects over the summer, but I also know that summer is a time when we tend to want to feel a little bit free. We focus on different things. There has been a pandemic, so we might be able to travel more and meet friends and family that we haven't been able to do for a while. So I think people's energy was shifting elsewhere over the summer, and I had already sort of dipped into the potential that was there. And the summer campaign did not go very well, and that was sort of if the earlier times were an up, then came a little down, and with that down, I started freaking out. Even when I might feel stressed or might feel worried about how things are going, I'm sure that will happen. So today we are going to talk about how to keep going when it gets hard, how to keep moving forward, and to not get stuck when things get difficult in a creative project. Because I'm thinking. So if you've been reading my blog and hearing me talk about this, or maybe my email letters, you know that I went through what I call the messy middle, and I think that we go through this in pretty much every project. And this is when we're past that early beginning when things are exciting and inspiring, and we're getting into the messy stuff, our own mindset mess, and also sort of what is hard about the project. And of course, sort of when things don't go as well as we want them to, or expect them to, or hope they will, then that sort of brings up all of the things that are hard, but also all of the things that we sort of doubt about it. So my messy middle looked very much like me working through a lot of mindset issues. And this was also very, very good. I have a whole blog post on the messy middle if you want to read that. I'll leave in the description, I'll leave a link to everything that is related to my leap. So all the blog posts, the videos where I talk about my leap, so you can go back and find it as well. So if you want to check out the messy middle blog post, that will be in the leap link down below. So my messy middle hit, and that sort of shook me a little bit and got me a little bit out of my momentum that I had in the beginning of my leap. And I think that it was very good that happened, because that showed me, one thing it showed me was that the summer is very different from other seasons, at least from spring and autumn as we're in now. I got to see that, and I expected it to be a difference, but I didn't expect the difference to be that big. And I got to experience what it's like when things don't go as well. That is also a very valuable experience to have. And we have to deal with those feelings, because in every kind of project, in creativity, things aren't going to go smoothly all the time. That's just the case. And we have to be able to deal with the hard times as well and pick ourselves back up. So yeah, I worked through a lot of mindset challenges. I explored things like, the fact that I realized that I had a bit of a scarcity mindset around business. I worked through habits that wasn't really working for me. I worked through fears and doubts that I had, and through this process I also realized that my identity had shifted, when I went into the leap, I still very much saw myself as that sort of the person who does business on the side. I didn't see myself as fully legit, whatever that means. And when I had been doing this for a couple of months, things had been going well, things hadn't been going so well. Then I started seeing myself much more as the kind of coach and the business owner that I was actually. I was doing that full time. And so at the end of the summer, I really stepped into that. So on that day, the thing that I wanted to do is to do a brain dump. So here I have a big notebook, and also look for things that stand out to you as like, this is what my style is about. I really want this to be like this. When I came out of summer, that was also when I sort of had to figure out, okay, was I going to do this? Was it going to keep going full time? Wasn't I going to keep going full time? And here's where that linear thing made it a little bit hard. So I had expected things to sort of pick up over time, and kind of the opposite had happened. It went good in the beginning, and then it didn't go particularly well, or not as well over the summer. So I didn't know how to interpret that. Did that mean that summer is a season when people are distracted? Yes, but did it maybe also mean that in the beginning things were sort of exciting and inspiring, and it went well for a little while because of that, and that wouldn't come back? Or would things pick up again for autumn? I didn't know. So I wanted to wait a little bit and see what happened when autumn started. And when autumn started, things did start to pick up again. And I'm very, very glad that it did. Because if it hadn't done that, I'm not sure that I would have dared to do and make the decision that I made, which is that I am going to keep going full time with my business. So yeah, I have contemplated this for weeks, and then I made a decision. I've been sitting on it for a little while, and yeah, I'm very excited to tell you that I'm gonna keep going. I have quit my job, and I'm simply a business owner now. Earlier I was someone who did a 6-month leap. Now I am actually that business owner that I wanted to become during this period. And I did. So yeah, it's been a wonderful 6 months. That's all that I can say. It has been difficult, of course. All creative projects are hard to some degree. It has been challenging, but I have grown a lot through that. And I think that that's what we always do if we sort of allow ourselves to go through the challenges and reflect about them and learn through them. Then we grow. And we become better creatives. I've become a much better business owner. I've become a better coach during this period as well. So yeah, it's been a good time. So my 6 months leap project is now coming to an end. It's the end of the project. And yeah, I have had this notebook throughout the whole period, my leap notes. And yeah, I'm retiring this notebook. The spine is completely cracked. It has lost its binding, and it's all scratched up and nicely, like I think a notebook should be, well used. And I'm retiring it, and I'm closing the project now, and I'm looking ahead at what's next. So the goal of my 6 months leap was to keep going full time, to be comfortable enough in the business. I've built it enough to be able to keep going full time. And that is what I'm gonna do. So I know that when other people do these kind of things, it can look so simple from the outside, like you had a goal, you reached the goal, you keep going. But I just want to say that it doesn't feel quite like that. It feels very much like there's been ups and downs, and for the longest time I wasn't sure what I would do after these 6 months. And since it has been going up and down, and since it haven't been linear, I didn't know exactly what to go on. But I think that my business has grown, and even more so maybe, I have grown as a business owner. And I feel much more equipped, and I feel like I have gathered a toolbox that I didn't have before to keep going and keep growing my business. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this now. I'm gonna be a full-time business owner for the foreseeable future. I have quit my job, and my very kind colleagues bought me as a going away present this notebook, and it's the perfect notebook to keep taking notes for my business in. It's green, has this very nice pattern to it, a plant pattern, and has blank pages, which is what I prefer. So that is the new chapter of my journey, my creative journey and my business journey. So while I've kept everything very simple in my business during my 6 months leap, I'm very glad that I did that because I think I needed it, the business needed it. I've been focusing very much on my coaching. Going forward, I'm gonna start creating some other offerings as well. I talked about this in my planning for autumn video, if you watched that. that I've been wanting to do some more group programs, and I did a workshop back in September, Back to Creativity, and yeah, that's what I want to keep doing as well alongside coaching in my business. So you can expect some of those things from me as well going forward. That can look like courses, group programs, workshops, those kind of things. And to start things off and to also celebrate that I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm gonna hold another workshop. This one is called the Project Deep Dive, and we're gonna dive deep into a project of yours. So if there's a project that you feel a little bit stuck with or want to get started with, we are going to do a deep dive into your project in this workshop. We're going to talk about everything from messaging, why of the project, why you want to do it, your inspiration for it, the tone, the style, everything like that. So yeah, and also finding the next steps for you to move forward with the project. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun workshop, and if you want to join, or if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link down in the description as well. You're so very welcome to join us. So yeah, it has been a fun, challenging, wonderful 6 months. I feel so much like I'm on the right track in my life to be doing this, and I'm very, very glad that I've decided to keep doing this. And I also want to just send a big thank you to all of you who have been following along, who have been supporting me throughout these 6 months. It means the world to me that you have, and a special thank you to all my wonderful coaching clients. You have been the best, and it's been a privilege to work with you. And yeah, so that is it for my 6-month leap and for this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I very much have. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a little like. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.